Hi, just a quick disclaimer before the video starts proper. My coverage of each episode for this ranking is going to be pretty brief, mostly because I feel like I'll end up repeating myself a lot and making the same points for every episode. If you want a more in-depth coverage of this season, I'd recommend checking out these people who are way better at this sort of thing than I am. Okay, now that that's out of the way, on with the video. I don't feel like doing a long, rambly intro segment, so I'm gonna try my best to make this quick. I'm gonna be ranking all of the episodes in Death Battle Season 10 from least favorite to favorite. This is all my opinion, so if you disagree then you can make your own ranking video, I guess. Okay, now on to my Death Battle Season 10 ranking any percent speed run. Phoenix vs. Raven. This episode sure did happen. Visuals were cool, I guess.
I can deny it no longer! I am small.
Ant-Man vs. Atom. This one ranks above Phoenix vs. Raven because the size changing gives it a more unique feel than flying brick fight, except one of the bricks is on fire.
Nothing.
Martian Manhunter vs. Silver Surfer. Pretty standard for the most part, but the part that Morrow animated and the surprisingly really good ending bump it up a few spots.
Well, that just happened!
Cole McGrath vs. Alex Mercer. Really cool fight scene, but the analysis is genuinely kind of painful.
Who?
Killua vs. Misaka. One of many episodes I slept on way too hard for way too long. There's a lot of cool stuff in this one, I just like the higher episodes more, unfortunately.
What were the words again? Fusroda?
Dark Souls vs. Skyrim. The fact that this episode didn't even crack the top 10 despite being as great as it is should just show how hard the Death Battle team went this year. Stitch vs. Rocket. The first episode to include the work of the goated Morrow Indie Cross. Very silly and fun, but there are a couple janky movements and annoying moments in the analysis that keep me from calling it amazing.
Ha! Nice try, jackass! Next time, give it your A-game!
Frieza vs. Megatron. I don't know why, but I find myself coming back to rewatch this one more often than most of the rest of the season. This episode is cool as shit, but I really wish the cutscenes from the storyboards could have been included.
Yeah, Rick was gonna lose, sooner or later.
Rick vs. the Doctor. A really creative fight with a ton of great scenes in it, and an analysis that actually got me interested in checking out Doctor Who. Rick's voice actor sounds kinda off at points though, and it's really distracting, not gonna lie, Wiz.
Number 7.
Galactus vs. Unicron. I'ma be honest, I was expecting this episode to rank higher. It's phenomenal, there's no denying that, it just doesn't really click with me to the extent that the higher episodes do. There's not really anything I can fault it for on a technical level though, which is why it cracked the top half.
Number 6.
Vader vs. Obito. An amazing way for Devil Artemis to send off Source Filmmaker before switching to Blender. It's only down here at number 6 because nothing about it really sticks in my head outside of the bit with the 10 tails, which is something all the higher episodes manage to do in one way or another.
The dead must have their revenge!
Guts vs. Dimitri. Case in point. This episode is amazing in all regards, but there are 3 aspects of it that really make it stand out to me. The death, the Berserker armor transformation, and the track. All of which are among Death Battle's best in their respective categories.
I know what I'm a Scooby-Dooby too.
Scooby-Doo vs. Courage the Cowardly Dog. So very silly and so very well made. Special mention to the Azara's Wrath reference, which is one of my favorite scenes in the season. Also, Godzilla makes a cameo, so it's amazing by default.
Number 3.
Gojo vs. Makima. This episode was really good, especially the hand-drawn stuff and the voice acting, but it probably wouldn't have ranked this high if not for a friend of mine who loves Chainsaw Man and watched it with me. It's their favorite episode of the show now, to my knowledge, and seeing them get so excited about this episode made me really happy. Even without that, though, this episode is still an absolute banger. Banger. Okay, now for the final 2. These 2 episodes are what I consider to be Death Battle's crowning achievements so far. even surpassing Godzilla vs. Gamera, my previous favorite episode of all time. So now the question is, which did I prefer? Bill Cipher vs. Discord or Goku vs. Superman? And the answer is yes.
Both. Both is good.
Bill Cipher vs. Discord and Goku vs. Superman. I'm really sorry about this. How can you pick between these? They're both so good in so many ways, and whenever one does something better, the other makes up for it with how phenomenal the rest of it is. Both of them have amazing visuals, but I think Bill vs. Discord is more consistent in that regard. Both of them have amazing tracks that I find myself listening to constantly, although I think I prefer Super a little bit over Discord and Decipher. And both of them have some of the most nail-biting, adrenaline-pumping, and weirdly enough, emotional climaxes in the entire show. Both of these episodes are borderline perfect, and I genuinely can't pick a favorite right now. Maybe I'll change my mind about this decision later, but for now, this is what I think. And if you disagree with me, then again, you can make your own ranking video to prove how wrong I am. And thus concludes my ranking of Death Battle Season 10. Holy shit, they outdid themselves this year. This is absolutely the new best season of the show in my eyes, and by a pretty wide margin too. I think one of the biggest deciding factors of that is that every other season of Death Battle has at least one stinker episode. Season 10 doesn't really have one of those. The lowest point in the season is Phoenix vs. Raven, and even then it's just okay, not outright bad. I absolutely loved revisiting every episode for this ranking, and hopefully you enjoyed watching me ramble about this show. Again, this is new territory for me, so if there's anything I can improve, please let me know. Other than that, thank you for watching. Happy holidays and have a great rest of your day.